This car's headliner is in the worst condition I've ever seen. Oops. And yet, the car itself is still in surprisingly good shape. You can tell the owner really loves this car, but look at this. The headliner cloth is dirty, old, and already falling apart. So today, I'm going to try to fix it at home by myself in just 8 hours. This is a Mercedes Benz E-Class W211. From the way it's been maintained, it's clear the owner has taken good care of it. The only real problem is the headliner, or what some people simply call the roof.
This is how it used to look like when it was still brand new. And now, this is how it is looking like right now. Some parts are even damaged. So this is just the side pillar, but it's also the same case with the roof. That's why we have to clean these, and we also have to clean the roof as well, so that we go back to this original color right here.
Over time, dust built up and it looks like someone tried to clean it with water, maybe even chemicals. That was the beginning of the end. The glue that held the fabric in place loosened and the cloth slowly started to fall. The owner tried everything, needles, super glue, but nothing worked. Eventually, he gave up and brought it to me, hoping for a permanent solution. So we have to fix two problems in this video. First of all, we have to fix the headliner so that it looks the way it's supposed to look like when the cloth is not falling off. And then two, we have to clean it and it goes back to its original color when it's looking good. But remember, you can't do all that when the headliner is still inside the car, so we have to get it out and then fix it from the outside, clean it, and then put it back in the car. To fix this properly, I need to remove the entire headliner from the car, strip off the old fabric, replace it with a new one that closely matches the original, and then reinstall everything. All of this in under 8 hours. Let's waste no more time and get started. Before removing any Mercedes headliner, several interior parts must come off: the pillars, sun visors, grab handles, roof lights, and the hardest part of all, the rear view mirror. We started from the back, removing the grab handles and the plastic trim above the rear seats.
Still in the process of removing the headliner because we just can't fix it when it's still inside the car. So I'm just removing most of the parts so that I get to the headliner and then I put it down.
Most of these parts were just as dirty as the headliner itself, so they had to be thoroughly cleaned or rewrapped. Once the headliner began to come down, we moved to the front, removing the remaining handles, visors, and lights. Honestly, this thing was so old that without these parts holding it up, it would have fallen a long time ago. After everything was unscrewed, the headliner finally came down. We disconnected the wiring and then faced the biggest challenge, getting it out without breaking it. After another 30 minutes of struggle, folding seats up and down, we finally managed to remove it through the rear doors. Right on time, my order for the new headliner fabric and contact glue arrived.
The material is already here. It's already available. This is the one that we are going to apply. You have to remove this old cloth and then we put something new using glue.
These are the exact materials that will bring this headliner back to life, but there was a problem. The old fabric had left behind a thick sponge layer and you can't glue new fabric on top of that. It simply won't bond.
Here you see that the headliner, this sponge is already stuck onto the roof. So you just can't apply glue onto the cloth and put it back. It just won't work. So we have to remove this sponge remains right here and then we put another material.
So the only option was to scrape everything off. Using sanding paper and a brush, I removed all the old sponge material. Time was moving fast. I needed the sunlight to help dry the contact glue. That meant I had to install at least 90% of the fabric before 6 p.m. No pressure. Before applying any glue, I carefully aligned the fabric on the board because once the glue goes on, there's no turning back. To keep the fabric in place, I used pins and pegs. Starting from the back, I applied glue to both the fabric and the backing board. After letting it dry for about 10 minutes, I pressed everything together using a squeegee, applying steady pressure to avoid wrinkles and bubbles. The sun was slowly fading, so I focused on laying down the largest sections first. At this stage, the fabric didn't look perfect, but that wasn't a big concern. Those details can always be fixed later. The sun was gone, so I moved to Plan B, a heat gun. This meant applying heat very carefully after the glue, making sure not to burn the fabric. Working alone made this step very risky. If the fabric touched the ground with glue on it, that would be game over. One mistake here could mean starting all over again, so I improvised. I used a tripod to hold the fabric up as high as possible while bonding the final section. And just like that, the hardest part was done. Laying the fabric was the toughest task, and now it was behind me. All that remained was cutting holes for the lights, grab handles, and sun visors. I folded and trimmed the fabric where needed, and for the sides, cut off the excess cleanly. Any small wrinkles left behind were easily removed using a flat iron and a piece of cloth. By this time, the headliner was fully ready, but it was dark and I was completely exhausted. Installing it back into the car would have been a mistake, so I made the call and pushed that final step to the next morning.
Alright, here we are. Now we are done with our roof, replacing the material, the headliner material. I've already replaced it, cut out the holes, and now it's time to install it back in the car.
By 8 a.m. the next day, the headliner was back in the car. All roof components were reinstalled, lights, sun visors, handles. The plastic parts had been cleaned and everything looked fresh again. The car was finally ready to be handed back to its owner. This wasn't an easy job, especially working alone and without all the tools I needed. But I'm proud I completed it. If you enjoyed this journey as much as I did, hit the subscribe button, like this video and share it with the world. More restorations coming soon. Bless.